I've built one of the craziest quads naturally. Let's be real. We don't see as many crazy quads as natural bodybuilders, right? We see a lot of good chest, good back, big arms. That's something we see a lot. But when you look at quads, most of natural lifters, they have skinny legs, chicken legs. In my case, I had to build up my legs, and I'll tell you guys what I did to help me get to this result and help me get those big, insane quads. A lot of people would see them in pics, but when they see them in real life, they're like, what the heck, this is insane. And guys, it's not because I squat a ton of weight. Trust me, yesterday I was doing a leg workout, and some people are like, that's it? That's all the weight you're using? Yeah, but my legs were on fire, and that's what works for me. That's how I was able to build them, and I want to share it with you, all right? It might not apply for everybody. I'm pretty sure that a lot of people would watch this video and be like, this is a bunch of nonsense. This would never work for me. All right. If you're someone that really like lifting a lot of heavy weight, you might not agree with what I'm going to say, but me, doesn't cut it for me, all right? When I go for heavy weights, I can put 405 on the bar, doing squats, doing 3, 4, 5 reps. I would never feel my quads. I would never get that growth up until I had to change my style of training and started doing more reps, all right? So that's the number one thing, high reps. I saw one time Flex Wheeler and Standard Ferding talking about doing high reps for quads, high volume for quads, and they were talking about sets of 15, 20. I was more of a power lifter back then. For me, sets of 15 and 20 looked like a cardio. I'm like, what are they talking about? Up until the day I got injured, I couldn't even do high weight anymore. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna start doing high reps. I'm injured, so might as well. I can't lift that heavy. I'm gonna go for higher reps. I started doing higher reps, sets of 15, 20. And guess what? My quads started finally growing, all right, because I was doing high reps. But it's not just about doing high reps, because there's ways of training. It's not just about doing the high reps and pushing up and down, but there's something called the mind-muscle connection. Arnold made it famous. Are you focusing on the muscle? Are you really connecting with it? Because the connection, actually, a study showed that if you're connecting with a muscle, you're recruiting more of those muscle fibers to perform the movement. So let's say I'm focusing on my triceps, doing the triceps push down, and I'm trying to get in that triceps and imagine my triceps squeezing, all right, as opposed to just moving the weight from A to B, moving the bar from A to B, A to B. Well, in the first case, when I'm focusing on the mind-muscle connection, I'm recruiting more triceps fibers, which will lead to more muscle stimulation, which will lead to more growth. If I'm just focusing on moving the weight from A to B, I'm mostly recruiting any muscle to help me get the job done the best way possible. So it means there's going to be a lot of compensation. If you're benching or you're squatting and you're just thinking about, I want to take that 405 and bring it down and up, chances are you're going to be compensating with your glutes, with your lower back, with your hamstrings maybe. Maybe you will be cheating a bit, as opposed to thinking, I'm gonna stretch my quads and flex my quads. So I'm gonna go down in a motion that get my quads to stretch, and then I'm gonna squeeze my quads to come up and then flex my quads. Imagine, it's such a different process. And the weight that you'll be using will be so different, all right? If you're someone that's really focused on the mind-muscle connection for legs, you'll be lifting a lot less weight. It will humble you. People will pass by near you and be like, that's all? Leg press, 3 plates each side? What are you doing? Let me fill it all up with 10 plates each side. But guess what? You might have bigger legs than them. Because that's our goal as bodybuilder. We're not ego lifter. We're not trying to impress people. And we're not just trying to move weight around. If that was the case, we would be power lifters. But our goal is getting that muscle to failure, connecting with that muscle, and really getting in those muscle fibers. So I'm kind of all over the place. But the first point was high reps. Second, high reps, 15, 20, 12, 15, 20. Don't do sets of 5 on legs. Trust me, it will lead you nowhere. All right, you will not even feel a burn. Now you might tell me, well, doing 405 on the squat for 5, it just tires me so much. Yeah, but it's because your system is tired, because you have no more air, because your central nervous system is fatigued. There's a difference between being fatigued and getting the muscle to failure. And it also applied to the other extreme, because a lot of people will do a lot of reps and then they have no more endurance, but maybe the muscle is not to failure. So you gotta find that sweet spot where it's heavy but not too heavy, but heavy enough to get the job done. That's number one. Number two, the mind-muscle connection. Connect with that muscle. Stop, close your eyes. Stop thinking about moving the weight from A to B. Today I was training and this guy just kept talking to me. And I'm like, my God, And the weights that I was using were always the same. It's not that I changed any weight, but all the sets where I was talking to him, I could not feel any burn because my mind wasn't there. Arnold said it best. All right, if your mind is not in it, you will not get the most optimal results. All right, number 3, barbell back squat, high bar barbell back squat. Not a Smith machine squat, not a leg press, not a, I don't know, hack squat, high bar barbell back squat. And still high reps, still mind muscle connection. Now, it doesn't mean that you need to do it as a power lifter and go super heavy, because when you're doing a high bar squat, it's very different than doing a low bar squat. All right, so check the difference between both of them. Google it, watch a video that talks about it, how to perform a high bar barbell squat. This will really blow up your quads. And still go for sets 8 to 15. And the barbell back squat is one exercise where I would push a little bit heavier. So I would go for sets of 8, sometimes sets to 5. And for me, let's be real, I spent half of my leg workout on the barbell back squat, where I would pyramid the weight up and down. So I would start, let's say, with one plate, I would do 20 reps. I would put 1 plate and a half, 20 reps or 15 reps. I would put 2 plate, I would go for 10 reps. I would put 2 plate and a 10, I would go for 8 reps. And then maybe add a bit, do 5 reps. And then bring the weight back down and bring the reps back up. All right, and I don't take much rest, which leads me to the next point. I don't rest much. I like really keeping that, you know, when they say there's a proverb that says hit the metal when it's hot. I really feel that it applies to legs, you know. Every time I take a long rest with my legs, it feels like I'm starting the workout over again. I don't know how people can just take 2-3 minutes, 4 minutes. For me, my legs, I really gotta keep them going. All right, maybe 1.5 minutes max, because otherwise I will just lose that pump, lose that burn, and all of a sudden I just don't feel them as well anymore. All right, so I do very low rest. I do pretty high volume, very low rest. But yeah, I do eat a lot of carbs, which is my next point. On my leg day, I'm carbing up, man. I'm doing maybe 400 grams of carbs that day. I'm getting my fats up. I'm really eating a lot because I'm eating to fuel my training. And legs, they need so much more. All right, so I'm really getting my calories up. I'm not doing a low carb day on my legs day. That's the worst thing you can do, because then you really feel tired and you're not just gonna not recover at all. All right, next point is I do a lot of lunges. Lunges, guys, body weight lunges or dumbbell lunges, they are very underrated. A lot of people think that because it's a body weight lunge that they're not gonna get results. That's complete BS. Lunges, game changer. But for me, I add them on. Let's say I'm doing a leg extension. Right after my leg extension, I'll do sets of lunges, 20 reps. And when you're doing the lunges properly, you can actually put the tension on your quad or the where you want it and really get that muscle to failure. All right, like it's not just about going down and up. When you're doing it properly, trust me, it's a game changer. And why I love lunges, because instead of going to failure on my barbell back squat, I would maybe start 1 rep short of failure and then do my lunges. So I would finish my barbell back squat, then I would do 20 reps of lunges each leg. And that way I'm really getting those squats and getting them to failure. And it's been a game changer for me. And it's very good for the nervous system because you're not overstressing it by doing squats to failure. And it allows you to do more volume because now you're not overstressing your nervous system. Moving on, lastly, walking. I want to say pre-exhaustion, and starting with hamstring. I always starting with hamstring before doing my squats. Warms up the knees and really get that blood flow going. And I don't know, I just don't feel well starting right away with barbell back squat. I much rather do pre-exhaustions. So let's say an isolation before. It could be a hamstring curl or a leg extension, and then going to my big compound lift. All right. Moving on, lastly, walking. Walking, guys, has been a game changer for recovery. All right. Try after your leg session, go for a 30-40 minute walk. You will recover so much better and you will be less likely to get sore. All right. And not overdoing cardio. Don't overdo cardio. Don't do much of the step master. If you're a natural lifter, man, the step master is not something you want to spend a lot of time on. So that's pretty much it for this video. Hopefully you liked it. Leave a like, leave a comment. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done it. Let's go. Almost 5,000 subscribers, man. Let's go. I'm so pumped. I'm so happy. Thank you all for supporting, for the comments. If you've watched till the end, leave a quad emoji, leg, the legs emoji. When you type legs, you get that quad emoji. Write that down and tell me what is your favorite tip for building your quads. I'll see you guys in the next video. Ciao.